Shadows of the battlefield, the Union man stands tall. Silent assassin in the night, heed the Reaper's call. Sight and stride, Tiefling, holy fire in his eyes. Paladin of dark and light, beneath the blood-red skies. Bound by fate, three souls unite in the depths of hell to make you right. Save hell, save the multiverse, break the chains, reverse the curse, and the fire in the flame. Three heroes rise to win the game. And Aasimar of ancient lore, wizard of the plains, with spells that rend reality and magic that's insane. They march into the abyss where angels fear to tread. To save the realms of all we know, we walk among the dead. Bound by fate, three souls unite in the depths of hell to make you right. Save hell, save the multiverse, break the chains, reverse the curse, and the fire in the flame. Three heroes rise to win the game.
When last we left our three heroes, they had just encountered some bandits after crossing a hellish bridge. The bandits led by a very smiley tiefling who had charm abilities was fairly difficult for the group. Brundy was charmed and then charmed again. Reg was charmed, which left Aepheus on his own to deal with Smiley. He was able to finally put an end to the bandit, and the three took a much-needed rest after, of course, looting the corpses. They found a decent amount of treasure, including some platinum. These bandits had clearly been busy. Of course, one ran off, and they never saw that guy again. After rest and eating a little bit of food, Reg choking his down with sweat squeezed from his jacket, the three finally made the last little bit of their journey to the new, bizarre Gatetown of Jibhaze. That moon that has been following them returned overnight. Oh, those bodies also disappeared. And the gaping maw with the bridge, proving that this landscape, everything about this is just bizarre and chaotic, which doesn't track because, well, you're close to hell, and while hell is evil, it's also a plane of absolute law. So maybe Brundy and Reg have no context for this, but Aepheus at this point is probably starting to think this is all wrong. Ribcage was fairly orderly. I mean, very orderly. Not that you stayed long, but everything else out here has been incredibly chaotic. And the town of Jibhaze is no different. As you come down this ridge and see the town under the flesh moon, it gives everything kind of a waxen glow. And you notice that the town is made of disseparate buildings or structures. They're, some of them, bizarre. But the main thing that catches your attention is the thing in the center. A large iron tree with a single heavy chain dangling from which is a large cage with spikes pointed inward. And that's where you find yourself at the moment.
What?
Is there nobody else in this town that we've seen?
As you were initially coming down to the town, you thought you saw possibly some movement, some people in the town, maybe. But now that you're getting to the edge of town and you can really see, you don't see any people. The other bizarre thing about the town is that it's fairly small. It's, you know, it's really only about the size of a village, but it doesn't look like a village at all. Not a standard village, because the buildings, the structures are so weird and different. But there is a border. There is a kind of broken fence of mismatched pickets that is not very tall and definitely would not keep anything in or out, that just kind of surrounds the town, kind of creating a border to the town. And from the road that you know, because I said there was kind of a path from the road that's kind of going into the town that you were following, that's kind of where there's an opening in the picket gate. That's kind of, you can see that that's kind of the entrance to the town. The road kind of goes down into this new village, this new bizarre gate town.
But now here's the question though. Does it look like it's been here for a long time, or does it look like it just recently popped up out of the earth? Or was
See,
plunked down?
That's the thing. There's mismatched aging. Some things look new, some things look ancient.
right. And also, here's the thing, especially by Reg's eyes, each of the three is going to perceive this a little bit different. When Reg looks at this, he almost doesn't even see like a town or a village at all. He sees like just the weirdest crap ever. I mean,
Okay.
some of the buildings don't even look like they're just like structured. They almost look like he wouldn't even have reference for them, but for your reference, they almost look like modern art.
Okay.
Right? So it's just really bizarre. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, Aepheus, who is familiar with the multiverse, and, you know, has studied this stuff for 4 years under Archimethil Garrethes, he would see kind of what looked like almost these structures plucked from various disseparate places and just haphazardly put here. That's kind of his perception of it, is like, you know, what the heck? It's very, very random. And then kind of Brunyr, you know, he's probably more on the side of Reg, where he's just like, what in the world? So yeah, that's what you're seeing at the moment.
Here's the thing then. If it's kind of mismatched,
Hmm.
if I like really look, does anything look like it's from my world? My Earth?
There are some
My
structures, there are
I
some
mean my time
buildings.
frame, right?
There are some buildings that maybe, yeah. I mean, there are some
Mm-hmm.
familiar looking types of buildings to Reg, but like the majority of the structures are pretty strange looking. But yeah,
Okay.
there's some houses, there's some kind of towers or various. They're pretty bizarre though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just to reiterate real quick, because I didn't explicitly write it in my notes, but I'm
Hmm.
fairly positive you said this last time. So Archimethil Garrethy's finger was fake. and this was all a ruse to get us here to go investigate the, Jibhaze, the new Gatetown to hell.
Yeah. It's kind of because that's from the previous Agixiel was the drunk angel when you met him. Remember the finger was like taffy basically,
Yeah.
and you guys tried to talk to him. You tried to ask him um the his master
Yeah,
who hired him. The only information that you were able to glean that kind of gave you a little a confidence that he was at least somebody that's pointing you in the right direction was that he knew Nivellen
right.
from
And
some meeting.
and didn't he say that even though it wasn't my master's finger, he was coming out here to investigate and deal with the town? So that's
Yeah,
like why
Agixiel had said that it's possible that Archimethil Garrethes had come to Jibhaze or was in Jibhaze to investigate,
okay.
which kind of
May or may
kind of tracks in a way. Like the way that he disappeared didn't make sense, but yeah, it would be something he would be interested in. And if he was, if you recall from way back, there were like you found all these rambling writings in his,
it tracked with his
clearly he was
master's
in like a
notes. Yeah.
mania. So if he had left in like a crazy mania, you could imagine him possibly coming to a place like this if he thought that um
Right.
yeah, that if he thought that it was a major event in the plains or whatever,
Gotcha,
especially.
gotcha, gotcha.
Right.
Okay. Just
Right.
just
Normally
tracking.
he would pack up things, plan things, take you. But obviously situations are not normal, so or this
Things are going
situation
down.
clearly not normal. So you're standing at the opening in this broken picketed fence that surrounds these bizarre buildings, with the tree and the cage in the center of it all. Um, right now,
Is
you're
it
just
small? Is it small enough that we can see like all the way across the town? So we can obviously the center of the town, but
right. It is, and you're kind of coming down over a ridge, so you're kind of seeing it a little bit from above.
okay, that makes sense.
There are less than 30 buildings.
Okay,
You could probably stand on the ridge and just about count them all from your vantage point. And then I mean that's pretty much it. There's and with the tree in the middle. So it's yeah, it's pretty weird.
all right, guys, we've seen it. Let's go on back and report.
After
No,
we made it through all of that, you want to just leave? Oh no, we have much to do here.
So
Uh,
you think your Archie Gary
Lord
Thomas
Archimetal Garethes, one of the most
Gary. I'm
profound
I'm going to
scholars
call
of our
him.
age.
I'm going to call him Gary. You
Right.
think he's in there?
If there's even the slightest chance that he is, then I'm willing to investigate.
I guess we reckon on to go in there.
I reckon we should. Um,
Yes. We also need to find some source of water, or else we're going to be in a bad way pretty quick.
that is also true.
that is true. And you don't see any well in this weird village, this weird gate town of Jibhaze.
Just so that I'm clear again. I can understand, but I can't read him. I can't read anything, right?
Yeah, you can understand. You can understand when people speak common,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
But I can't.
Anything else, yeah, anything else you can't understand, and you can't read anything, or at least you haven't been able to read anything so far. Not
Okay.
since you were in Virginia.
Okay.
So the first three structures that you see are very, very strange and very separate. So all the way to your right, just inside the town, there is a kind of pinkish white tower of coral. Very strange. Just in front of you is a partially buried black slag bunker caked in ash. It looks like it's made of iron. And to the left, you see, well, Reg might kind of recognize something like this, but not exactly from his land. There's a three-tiered pagoda.
Oh, like them Chinamen would build.
Correct. Yeah, and that's
That's
just the first.
that's Reg saying that. That's not me saying.
Yeah, yeah. In
Just let's make
context,
that-
as a
Let's make that clear. Reg is from 1860s.
right, right. So those are just the first three buildings of somewhere between 20 to 30 structures, again with that tree kind of sitting in the middle. All three of these close structures are strange, and well, all three of these, the first, it almost looks like it grew out of the ground. So it's hard to tell when it arrived. But the second, the one in front of you, the bunker, I mean, that looks like it's been there for quite a while. And the pagoda, it actually kind of looks ancient. It has oxidization on its copper.
Now, gentlemen, I know you are uncommon with these lands, but I am not, and even I must say that this is all incredibly strange for what is going on, what is happening. You even saw that the ravine that we crossed just the day prior is no longer there. I suspect if we're going to investigate, we stick close together. Now, this coral-looking structure over here may have potential to solve our water issue. Maybe we should
Coral.
investigate first.
I knew a guy named Coral. Coral Grimes.
Yeah, I was coral,
Coral.
coral.
He was at the academy with me. Coral.
So as you're kind of looking over in the direction of that coral tower, it does actually look slick, like it's possibly moist. And that's strange because down here, after you've kind of crested this ridge, the air seems pretty dry, pretty arid. But that tower, yeah, it's tall coral. It looks natural, and it just looks wet.
Okay.
We can
Let's get
check that
closer.
out.
Let's.
Yeah, if that's where we're going. I can be at the front of the pack.
Okay.
Approach carefully.
So Grundy takes point as you come down and inside of the broken picket fence, you head towards the Coral Tower. It kind of twists into the air and it kind of bends. It's a little bit bent. It almost looks like it's bent towards the center of town, to the kind of almost maybe towards the tree. It has jagged, kind of hollow pock windows that just look, again, like natural openings. And
Is it like
as you get
SpongeBob? Is it like SpongeBob?
a little bit like SpongeBob, yeah, why not? And as you get closer, you hear a rhythmic ticking. It's kind of slow.
Does it sound like like a leaky faucet, like a water drop?
Could be. You'd have to, get closer to investigate.
As we get closer,
Mhm.
so Reg isn't dumb. He knows coral's found in the ocean.
Right.
Does it smell like the ocean?
As you get closer, yes. In fact, it does. It
Okay, so I don't know if
smells.
either of these two guys have that kind of an experience of being close to a body of salt water.
I
I
would
don't
say
know.
probably.
Yeah.
Likely. At least Brundy, I feel like he's from a prime world. He's near the coast, I'm sure. So somewhere he's right by this lake, but I'm sure
Mhm.
he's been to the beach. So, and I imagine that Aepheus in his
Probably at
journeys
some point.
with Archimethil Garethes has probably been to some sort of a beach. Likely not for leisure, but I would imagine that he's kind of familiar. But yes, I would imagine all three of you have at least some familiarity.
Smells like salt.
Brian.
Indeed.
I thought you said his name was Coral, not Brian.
Brian and Carl.
Brian, Coral, Carl, all those guys.
Does it look like there is some kind of entrance into the structure?
There is one of the kind of jagged openings in the structure is low enough that it looks like you could probably use that to enter, and fairly big, about a little bit larger than a standard doorway,
If we get
though
close enough,
naturally shaped.
if we get close enough to touch it, I am going to reach out and take a little bit on my finger and just like dab my tongue.
Mm.
Because it is, it's
Yeah,
moisture, but he doesn't want to drink, but he wants to see how salty this is.
it is salty. It tastes like seawater. And when you get up, since you're close enough to touch it now, it is slick. It is just wet. And it's almost like it's just holding its own moisture. So when you kind of, wicked a little bit off, you got a good bit, but it was very salty and seawater like.
If we get
Does it
any
look like
water from him, if we get any water from here, we're going to have to boil it.
which I don't know if we even have. I don't have cookware for that.
Ooh. I feel like
I can makeshift something.
Mine is in Virginia. I've got a copper mug. I could boil it in my copper mug.
That's true. That's true. You did take that mug.
I took that
Mhm.
copper mug.
You
So
did take
so
that copper mug.
worst comes to worst, we can boil it in the copper mug.
One
Right,
one
right.
cup at a time.
Well, I mean, you know. Well, that mug I did describe it as a tankard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's dented and stuff, but it's big. I described it as like 2 cup. It's probably 16 ounces. It's big.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 20 ounces. Oh, what's a standard tankard? Like a tankard of ale. How big is that? Like
I don't
20,
know.
20
Ooh.
ounces, maybe, you think?
Yeah, 20 or 30, like 32.
Somewhere in that. So yeah, big. It was pretty big because remember
Yeah.
it was one of the 4 that Exixial was holding, trying to
Right.
stumble down
Mhm.
and he had his hand. I mean, they were completely full, and he dropped one, and Reg caught it
Right.
in a real slick move. So yeah, it's a decent size. It's not too bad. But the problem
Oh,
with
2 liters.
okay,
Wow.
the problem with the coral, at least from what you're seeing right now, is that it would be like very tedious and time consuming to kind of wick the watery moisture off the coral
Ooh.
into the cup. It seems like it would take a while unless you can find a water source.
Yeah. And I'm sure, there's some kind of better apparatus or something we could use,
Mhm.
maybe inside. So,
Really, Steve? If you put the turn tracker up and we've got to fight lobster people again?
No, no lobster people
the
here.
return of the lobster people.
Right, right. Big crossover. So, are you going into the structure? Are you stepping up? Because there's a little step that you have to step up into to step into it. And who is going first? How's this gonna work here?
Yeah, I'll still go first and go up and take that first step.
Okay, all right. Well
Is
then,
the inside lit?
it is. It's not lit, but there are enough holes that there's light inside. And again, the light out here is weird. It's almost like perpetual dusk, if dusk is really orangey. And don't forget, the moon, that weird
Full moon?
fleshy moon, is large and looms over the whole time. I mean, when you're going to get into the coral tower, like it literally, the moon looks like it's right above the tower. It's still creeping you out, for sure. So when you step in, that clicking sound is clearly some kind of dripping water, though you don't see where that sound is coming from. Instead, you see all kinds of water kind of trickling down the sides, kind of pooling, and then the pools kind of trickle and kind of disappear. It's very weird looking. And other than that, it's kind of just hollow looking in here. It looks like it's just this hollow coral structure that almost grew out of the ground.
So it's empty in here.
When you speak, there's kind of an echo. It almost sounds like you're listening to yourself with like through a seashell with like a weird echo. There's like a
Whoa, that's cool. Hello.
Well,
pretty weird.
we could get water here, but there are other buildings. Because, like I said, this water's going to take work.
Water that takes work is better than us leaving and Suddenly finding the water is not there for us when we return, but no better option presents itself.
There
I
is one
suggest
other.
we
Oh, sorry.
I suggest that we take some of this water now, at least as a precaution.
There is one other thing that you notice as you're all three stepping inside here, and that's that the ground in here, unlike the cracked, broken ground outside, which is kind of the same as the surrounding Outlands, the ground in here is sand. And there's like little shells and stuff in it. It looks like sand at the beach.
Well, you said there are pools, right?
The water kind of comes down the sides and kind of starts to pool, but then the pools kind of disappear.
Are they big enough that I would take my water skin and put it at the bottom where that water is starting to pool, that I could actually collect the water that way?
You can try. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
There it is.
For some reason, you can't quite get it right. It's almost like the perspective is weird or something. Down here where these pools, they like disappear, and that doesn't they're disappearing into nowhere, so it doesn't make sense. And then when you try and go over there, it's almost like you're just missing the water. Like you can't quite get it right.
But am I getting wet?
Yeah, it's getting on your hands and stuff, and maybe you're getting like a little tiny bit into your bladder, but for some reason you just can't get the
Okay.
stream.
So it's not a hallucination or a mirage. It's actually happening. It's actually coming down. I just can't quite get it.
Right. It's definitely coming down, but it's almost like it's coming down in a different spot than you're seeing it come down.
I'm having a problem here, boys.
Okay.
And am
So
I
if
the only one
have-
with a water skin?
No, I have an
Yeah,
I have an empty canteen.
So we should all try to get water then.
we had
Yeah.
established before, because Regis is from the Bandits. Brundy had a full bladder that you guys drank like on the bridge or before the bridge, I think, and then Aepheus has a canteen. So all of you now have empty water containers.
I reach into my pack, I take out my hammer and one of the spikes that I use in my camping kit,
Okay.
and I hammer into the wall at an angle so that the water pools onto it and creates like a faucet. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a tree tap.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and first make an intelligence check.
Oh God.
Yeah, these
Where is-
character sheets. They're
Something I really like about this character sheet in particular is that in the spellbook section, there's actually memorization slots, so it makes it really easy to track instead of
yeah.
going back through the chat and seeing what I picked and used for the day already.
Right, right.
Where? Oh, it's at the very top to the right. That intelligence. Oh,
Oh no.
Okay.
Duh!
oh!
Now go ahead and make a dexterity check. Because you're still doing the thing. You're still
My God, not a great start.
So Aepheus is like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna make this little tap to make sure the water, to direct it the way that I need it to go. So he takes out the hammer. He's got he's chiseling away, and as he starts chiseling, the water starts spraying him in the face and spraying the other guys in the face, and it's salt water, so it like burns his eyes. And
my eyes! Oh no! Oh!
he kind of stumbles back in the sand, and your eyes are like really watering, and you drop you drop your stuff into the sand, your hammer, and you're trying to, and you don't even have any water
Wipe it out with.
to wipe it out. So it's just, you're just blinking furiously. It's all sandy in here too.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so this is it's not exactly a good situation, and Reg and Brundy, they got kind of sprayed a little bit too, not as much, but just a little bit.
Is it cooler in here than it is outside?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
The climate is definitely different in here. It is almost beach-like. Whereas, like I said, the climate outside is very dry.
Well, Aepheus, I can give that a shot instead if you.
Yes, it seems that my survival skills are failing me this morning. Please do.
I think I see what you're going for here.
Okay. So Brundy's gonna take the tools and
Yeah.
attempt. All right, go ahead and make an intelligence check. Okay. And then follow that with a dexterity check.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
Okay. So Brundy
Ooh.
calmly takes the hammer and starts to kind of chisel away at the coral, and his craftiness, well, it kind of pays off because he's able to direct the stream of water right into exactly where he wants it to be. So did Reg give the cup? Was that the plan?
Well,
Or were you
I
going to
have the
try and put it
cup.
in the bladder?
I'm going to try to put it in the bladder. I would suggest that we all try to put it into our own. We all just try to fill up.
Yeah, I
Well,
have
this
a
is salt water, right?
It
Even
is
though it's
salt
salt water, we can still like
salt water that we can,
we can boil.
pacify, boil, better than no water.
You find that trying to fill the bladder this way is a little bit more difficult.
Really?
Just because it's a less wide of an opening, especially the canteen. Canteen has like a little tiny, little bitty opening. But are you gonna sit here and fill all of your waters?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
It's initiative. Yeah.
How long is that going to take?
that's probably going to take a decent amount of time, because again, it's just like this little, it's like if you had your tap turned on just like a little bit. So you sit and you fill all three of water your water containers. Now you have two
Wait a minute.
big.
The sand.
Mhm.
Is it wet?
A little bit.
Is it cool?
It's not. There's no sun at least on it. It's not really cool though. No,
It's not cool. It's
I
not
would.
like
No, I would.
it's not like kick your boots off and stick your feet in here to like cool your feet off.
No, no,
Okay.
no. I would not say that. No, probably not.
Okay.
No, it's still fairly warm because the whole place is fairly warm. So, it's the inside, even though it's a different climb, is still somewhat affected by the temperature. Everything is still pretty hot. It's like a hot sunny day on the beach. So the
Okay.
sand is pretty warm, not blazing hot, but warm as wet
Okay.
sand would be. Are you gonna do anything else? Because obviously, while one person is filling, you're kind of just hanging out. So,
Yeah, I'm on edge. Like if we're just gonna sit here and fill these, I'll be like on patrol, like on the edge of the door, just watching outside.
okay, all right. So you're just
Is
gonna
th-
kind
is
of.
there is there only one room?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's like a big, just giant piece of coral, hollow piece of coral grew out of the ground into like a big kind of tower shape that is again kind of pointed towards the center of town, almost leaning Tower of Pisa style.
While
That.
while Reg is waiting for the other two, I'm gonna do like because we've got time. I'm gonna do like a deep investigation.
Okay. So what specifically is
Gonna
your
look at the
investigation going to entail?
gonna look at the walls to see if there's anything different about any parts of the walls. Maybe he'll dig a few holes, see if there's anything underneath. Just really just kind of try to
Okay.
like case the joint.
All right. All right. So
I have well that's case target, but I have yeah.
I'm going
so
to take a couple of shells that are around.
okay. Are you just gonna take them off the top, or are you gonna dig around in the sand as well?
I don't really want to get super dirty or anything. I'll just take a couple of stuff at the top.
You're like, yeah, I'm not digging around in the sand. What the hell are you talking about, weirdo? All right. Um. So while Brundy is filling the first bladder, you guys are kind of walking around, picking up pieces of shell. Reg is looking at the walls. The walls pretty much all look the same. They're just kind of slick coral. There's not much going on. But as Reg is digging around in the sand, not far from the edge of the wall, and maybe only a few inches down, he finds a large brass skeleton key.
Ooh, okay.
Good find.
This might be useful somewhere.
Could be.
And after some lengthy time, Brunyr eventually finishes his filling up his. And who's gonna go? Who's gonna go next? Also, Aepheus, how many shells are you gonna collect, and like what size? Because there are, it's like the beach, and this whole room is maybe about 25 feet. So it's like a pretty big area of sand.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a decent amount of shell kind of material.
Yeah, I put in my notes a small collection of seashells. I mean, I was assuming, pretty small kind of stuff, but if there's like, larger, maybe conch
Mm-hmm.
shell-esque kind of things, I'll take those too.
Right.
Really for research purposes, you
Gotcha.
know. at a later
Yeah,
point.
I mean, there's almost an unlimited number of like little tiny shells. But there are a few larger shells if you if you wanted to grab a few of those.
Sure, I'll grab a few.
Okay, so you do that, um, and then who is going next? Is Reg gonna
Yeah,
try
Reg
and
will go
try
next.
and fill his bladder?
Mm-hmm.
So while Reg is going, Brundy is just gonna mainly hang out by the door.
Yep, still just sit on patrol.
Okay. Is Aepheus gonna do anything else? He's kind of gotten his collection of shells. It took Brundy a good amount of time, like probably 20 minutes, a half hour to fill that bladder.
So Reg found a skeleton key,
Hmm.
and that kind of piques my interest. I'll take a look at it. Do I notice anything particularly interesting about it? Maybe the craftsmanship or
Hmm.
something?
It's brass. It looks surprisingly new, despite being buried in sand. Like where you would think it would be really scratched up, and
Hmm.
it'd have like some wear on it from being it, but it looks surprisingly like new. It's very shiny.
Interesting. Um, yeah, that's kind of nifty, and maybe we can find something similar like that or other interesting things while we're waiting. So I'll break out my shovel and start digging.
Okay. All right. So you're
Uh,
gonna.
If I knew we were coming to the beach, I'd have brought my metal detector.
Wait a
How
second.
old are how old are metal detectors?
I was gonna say I don't think there'd be metal detectors in.
No, that doesn't happen. That's yeah.
No,
Nah.
no. So so you start. Do you actually have a little shovel?
I do. I mean, I have uh like excavation kit
Oh,
for
okay. You've got a.
serving,
That's okay. All right. All
Yeah.
right. So Aepheus is kind of starting to dig, and you're finding a lot more shells, all kinds of things. The other weird thing about this is that, like, you dig down a little ways, and you would kind of expect that eventually you would hit the kind of dirt that is outside, but you don't. You just you kind of dig down and there's just more sand, which is kind of bizarre. Um, Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Much
Woo!
different. Much better.
After digging for a while, you do find something interesting. Quite a large pearl. I mean, it's big too. It's like, it's like maybe like that size. So big pearl.
Be useful. Nice.
After you've done your digging and Reg has finally filled up his bladder, it's time for you to fill up your canteen if that's your will. But that's going to take a lot less time. Um, is Brundy still going to just hang by the door, make sure things are cool? And what is Reg going to do?
Yes, I'll stay there.
Okay.
Reg will actually take Aepheus's shovel and just continue to dig.
Okay. He's just going to keep doing some
Yeah,
digging. Okay. All right. So
he's gonna
Reg,
he's gonna make one of those really long tunnels so you can put somebody down there and then cover them up so it's just their head.
I see. So Reg is going to continue to dig. Aepheus fills his canteen fairly quick, a lot quicker than the two bladders, and now you've gotten your salt water all filled up. And Reg did more digging, but really no more pearls, unfortunately. Only just more shells and kind of sea things. Which is kind of interesting. You found kind of things that you would find on them. You know how like there's like sometimes there's like little pieces of wood that you can tell has kind of been in the ocean, stuff like that. So you found some debris and things. Again, which seems weird. You dig you dug down, even farther than Aepheus, so still just sand.
Okay.
And
Well,
also all the while there's been that clicking that you never really found the the source of. It does sound like dripping, kind of.
Is it not from inside the tower somewhere?
I mean, you hear it inside the tower. It's clearly from inside the tower, but
Is it up, like above us somewhere?
it's hard to tell because the tower is kind of echoey inside. So it's yeah, you never did find the source though, and it's
I
still
found the
going
source
on.
of the ticking.
Is
It's a
there any
pipe
way to
bomb.
go up higher in this tower? There's no anything that looks climbable or a way up?
The only way that you could climb in this tower would be to there's as I said, there's kind of like openings that almost from the outside they look like windows. From inside, it just looks like holes, right? But they're spaced in a way that if somebody was a talented climber, yeah, they could probably climb up to the top.
I feel like the best climber would be Brunyr.
Yeah, I can give it a shot. For all, yeah. You know what? And I have a grappling hook too.
Oh, I mean, if you have a grappling, it's coral, so it's like
Porous, yeah.
porous. There's like hole, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you could if you were able to you know to put some rope on your grappling hook and hook it up to one of the topmost windows. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. I mean, you'd have to throw it up there, but
Yeah,
other than
I'll
that,
give it a shot. I will
okay,
attach some rope I have and try to toss that up.
okay. Go ahead and just roll a d20. And what is your dexterity?
My dex 10.
Okay.
Nope.
Brundy takes the
it's slick, man. It's slick.
grappling hook. He throws it up there. No, in fact, his first try, he doesn't even hit the wall. He like because remember it's kind of curved in a way. So he like misses the wall. He just throws it up, and it just kind of like goes up about like 20 feet, and then just goes back down on the ground. You could try again.
Yeah. I'll give it another shot. Yeah.
You like pick it back up. You try again. You throw it back up. This time it does kind of clink off one of the walls, but it just breaks a piece of coral. That piece of coral comes down, almost hits you. The grappling hook once again thuds down into the sand.
He walks up behind him, puts his hand on his shoulder, and goes, "Hey, bud, let me give it a try."
I'm normally pretty good at this. I mean,
He
I
is
guess.
technically getting better.
All
My
right.
my dex. Do you even want to need to know my well, my dex is 15.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
you're
what
good.
we're
I figured.
saying.
I figured. So Reg picks up the grappling hook. He tosses it up, and it hooks on to one of the coral opening window like structures towards the top of this tower. And seems like it's when you know give it a tug, it seems like it's pretty good.
Here you go.
All right. Well, Yeah, I'll go ahead and try to climb up.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check. Because you're doing the rope climb. Gotta
You
get
can
to the
do this,
top and ring
buddy.
the bell.
You can do this, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Oh, he can do it.
All right.
You
So,
can do it. Do it all night.
so this is where Brunyr shines. Is climbing up there. He might not have been good at putting that rope on there, but he scurries up that rope pretty quick, and yeah, you find yourself at the top of this weird coral tower.
all right. Well, I want to look around the tower, of course, but I also want to look like around us. But is there anything in the tower that's weird or the source of that water drip?
And how high up is he?
He's probably about like 30 feet up there. 35 maybe. The full tower's maybe 40 feet. Go ahead and Brunyr, make an intelligence check.
Oh yeah, my specialty.
Yes. You're looking up here, and the water does start up here. I mean, there's it's not like the water is flowing from somewhere farther down. It's definitely flowing from the top. That click is louder up here, but you still have no idea where it's coming from.
Oh well, it's up here somewhere, fellas. I don't see it.
Yeah, it's weird. Do you come back down?
Oh no, I'll also do a look around from the top of the tower. Is there anything I can see from here in the town that I couldn't see from our approach?
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
a quick
because
surveillance
you
thing.
are at your hook is at a window type opening. So yeah, you kind of look out. Um, there's not really anything that you couldn't see before. I mean, you're kind of just seeing some stuff from above, but yeah, there are some kind of tall structures in this village. So yeah, I mean, really the main thing that you're seeing is that tree. But yeah, you don't see anything else, and you still don't really see any people per se. Go ahead and make another intelligence check, though, to see if you can suss out anything interesting. No, looks like it did from down there.
All right, cool. Then if I don't see anything else, I'll just come down.
So he rejoins the group.
Nothing, huh?
Yep, pretty empty up there. The clicking is up there somewhere. I don't understand it though.
It's probably just dripping of water. But we've, spent enough time here. Perhaps we should move on.
I agree. We have our water. We haven't boiled it though.
Not yet.
When Aepheus said it's probably just the clicking of, or the dripping of water, the click stopped.
And the lobster man appears. Click.
No, those guys appearing. The Jets are back. The Sharks.
Hi, I'm Garrett, and I play Brunyr in our Planescape campaign, Save Hell, and you're watching Dicks in the Dark.
Yeah, no, the that clicking, that whatever that noise was, as soon as you mentioned it in that way, as soon as you said it's probably just the dripping of water, it stopped. And now it's kind of
Nice.
quiet in here.
Probably said to chill up somebody's spine.
Yeah.
It probably
Uh,
did. You probably all kind of went like, "Ooh, what?"
Say that again. Dripping water?
You said it
It-
again, and
was probably just the dripping of water. Regardless, let's make haste. Let's be on our way here.
yeah, it's
I
weird.
agree.
It's just quiet now. So with your bags filled, you exit the coral tower. Reg, make an intelligence check. Ooh. Roll a d12.
6, right in the middle.
As you walk out of the tower, the taste in your mouth of salt and brine and seawater almost intensifies. You tasted that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You like walk outside and you feel like you could, and you're not sure why, but it's just a sense from inside. You
I
feel
believe I can fly.
not exactly that.
I believe I can touch the sky.
You feel like you could ask a question.
Reg has been constantly asking questions.
Yes,
entire
that's
time.
true. But now there's something like just it's
Like
compelling
out
him.
loud?
Yeah,
Or
like he almost feels like he almost has this sense that if he asks a question that he might get an answer. It's like almost like a weird sense of like almost like deja vu or something, but not exactly deja vu, but you know what I mean. It's like a kind of a weird just sense in his mind. And as soon as he stepped out, he felt it.
is or was Arctomethylgareth here? Okay, I don't know if you were hissing at me.
He was saying yes in
I
the
was
dark.
saying yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
queen, yes.
queen. No.
So
So
let me ask you
Reg,
this:
no,
Am
Reg.
I the only one that heard that?
No. Reg hears yes, kind of a whispery yes.
But everybody hears that.
Everybody heard it. Everybody heard it. It kind of came on the wind. And after Reg just
Was it Fleshy Moon saying it?
make an intelligence check. Maybe.
Does Reg have a positive intelligence?
Reg is pretty
He's got
smart.
a pretty decent intelligence. He's not.
No.
Reg is actually pretty smart.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's a reason that they kind of picked him for
Yeah.
the job that he was supposed to do. He's
I mean, 12 is on the upper end of the what is quote unquote average in the game. So it's,
His intelligence
pretty
is
good.
15.
Oh wait, his intelligence is 15.
Yeah,
Oh.
because I was looking at he
Oh,
got a
I didn't.
17 result, and I was like,
Oh
whoa.
yeah. No, I didn't see that. Oh yeah, so if it's intelligent, now he's really smart then. Oh, he's
He's like,
extremely smart.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's
As a +1.
I mean, the reason he's dumb here is because
New lands.
Right,
this.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
He's
just used
ignorant.
to you kind of playing those kind of
Mhm.
characters, I think.
Yeah, I play those dumbass characters that are just.
Mm.
Listen, it's easier for a smart person to play dumb characters than it is for a dumb person to play.
Fair point.
That's true. That is
That's
very
kind of how that
true.
works.
Right.
But
So yes, that is what
so
happens.
I look up, I look right at it, and I say, "Did you say that?"
You don't get an answer, but that moon, it now that you've walked out of the Coral Tower, it looks 5 to 6 times larger
Jesus
than it
Christ.
did
Is it?
before. It's starting to
But
kind
is
of
it?
Majora's Mask at this point. Like it's starting to
But
look
here's the
really
thing:
big in the sky.
is it getting bigger or is it getting closer? Because there's a difference.
That's
I
hard
mean,
to tell.
yeah,
'Cause
how are
it's a
you going to
It's
tell that?
moon.
perspective,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It's hard to tell. Is it getting bigger or is it getting closer? That is the question. And it
Okay.
probably is one of those two things, maybe both of those two things, but yeah, you can't tell.
That was weird.
That
So
was very weird.
he either is here or he was here. So we're at least on the right path. And I think that thing has something to do with it.
I think you're right, Reginald.
See, everybody thinks Reg is dumb because I made Reg sound like an
Kind of a hick.
1860s. He's an
Yeah.
1860s hayseed from Ohio, but
Right. He's a little bit of a hick. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, he's a smart hick.
Yeah.
Well, now you're out of the Coral Tower. It still looks the same as it did before, and again, the air outside is dry, and I'm just outside the tower. It's weird. It looks like the tower just like sprouted up from the ground. Very bizarre.
I don't think I asked this question, but there's sand inside. Is there sand outside or is it the regular dirt outside?
It's the regular dirt outside.
Like pushing up right against the where the tower is. So it's
If you examine right around the tower, it almost looks like this coral tower just like pushed up through the
okay.
the normal ground, and it just broke up through and grew.
Dude, why? Why did you just make that?
Yeah. Exactly. And of course, that's not the only structure. Obviously, there are others, like that kind of half-buried iron bunker or the pagoda. Of course, there are even some stranger structures beyond that. Before the tree, you can kind of see what looks like almost like a stitched tent, uh, a little bit beyond the coral tower. There's something very bizarre just after that iron bunker. It looks like a giant metal cube suspended in the air on one of its tips. So like that. Like if it was like suspended with like one of its points down. Just kind of like hanging there. It looks like it's the size of maybe a room, it's like maybe about 15 by 15, or at least from what you can see from where you are. So that's like a little bit beyond. And then over behind the pagoda looks like there's a building that's made entirely of bleached bones.
That's probably the most normal thing here.
Oh yeah, honestly.
It might be, but if you look at it for a moment, it kind of looks like something you might see out of the Temple of Doom. It looks like it could be it could be like a shrine to death. Very bizarre. But so these are all the various structures, and of course the tree beyond all of those structures. And the tree is even surrounded by more structures, and there are even more beyond that. All weird, all varying.
Well, do we keep going building by building till we find something, or should we head more towards the tree?
My intuition tells me that we should probably head towards the tree in the center of town and investigate first. If that
Yeah.
fails, I mean, I guess we go building by building then.
All right.
I agree.
Okay. So you want to take a look at that tree then, huh?
No.
Yeah. Walk over. Start moving towards the tree.
As
Is it
you
a
walk,
straight? Is it like a straight path to the tree, like a one, like a one road town, like a one lane town, or is it kind of like a little path that you gotta wind around buildings and things to
there's
get to?
actually no road in town. There's actually no path.
Mm-hmm.
The road kind of ends at the broken picket fence. Once you get into town, it's just the cracked landscape with these various structures, these various buildings. So there's not really a road, but you can kind of, there's space in between everything. It's
But
weird.
it's not like a straight shot. You've got to kind of.
It is definitely not like a straight shot. In
Okay.
fact, the caged where you came into the town, like I said, that iron bunker and the coral tower were the things that were right in front of you. The tree is actually a little bit, it's not like straight in. It's kind of like a little bit to the right. So as you're like walking in, you can, you would see it, you'd have to kind of look to the right, which is more towards the center of town. So, but the town is definitely, it's scattered.
Okay.
As you walk to the tree, are you going to inspect any of the buildings that I just described? Because pretty much you're gonna walk past, depending on which way you take, you're gonna potentially walk past any of those.
Is the ground dusty enough to see if there are other footprints?
The ground is dry.
Okay.
Unless you have a specific tracking ability, just from kind of looking, it doesn't really seem like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
just from sight, nah, you're not seeing like footprints or anything like that. Oh, Did I just lose a die in a
Oh
weird spot
no.
that I now can't get? Okay, do I have another one of those? Damn it. Ah. That'll work. So were you going to try to pass or look at any of those buildings specifically?
I don't think looking inside of the buildings, but as we're making our way around and to the center of town, Aepheus is going to keep watch around you know, uh, like tight lookaways, like sharp angles between the buildings where we could be like watched, or like in building windows to see if I ever catch any movement or anything, things like that.
As you're kind of making your way through the village, Aepheus is, kind of, looking at the various buildings. You see what look like embers from flame, almost a cloud of them floating through the air.
Do they look like the embers from the maze? Not the maze, but the well, I guess it is a maze from the very first. Those things we encountered right after we encountered.
Those little fire motes.
Yes. Does it look
No,
like those?
no, 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 no,
Okay.
no. Those were kind of, though they were small, they were a little bit more of a flame, a little bit more of a substance to them. These literally, you know how like little tiny, just like embers, like coming off of a fire? That's what
Mhm.
these look like. Just a cloud of like teeny tiny embers, but so many of them that it forms like a fairly large cloud that is seems to be drifting through town, and it's kind of drifting past you. It's not going to hit you if you don't specifically like go out to try and touch it, but it's going to come kind of close to you as it's drifting through town.
Definitely keep an eye on it, but I'm not gonna go to get inside of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of watching it to make sure it doesn't change direction or something.
It doesn't seem to be like sentient. It looks like it's moving with wind, if there
Mhm.
was wind. Now there is not wind, but that's the way that it's moving, as if there was somewhat of a breeze that was naturally pushing it. Eventually, it kind of passes you and just leaves town. And eventually, you make it to the tree. You come to a cracked plaza. The tree rises out of the ground. Now that you're close to it, you can see that it is a chaotic fusion of mostly blackened iron, but also a bit of gnarled wood, and maybe even some bone. The large iron cage is suspended by a single heavy chain from one of the lower branches. How close do you get?
Let's go right up to it. Let's, if there's nothing in the way or no structures, let's just go straight up to the tree to touch it.
Since Brundy is up front, as he starts to walk towards the tree, he feels it. Heavy. Ominous. As a paladin, does Brundy have any innate detection of evil or
Yeah,
anything
I
like
have
that?
detect evil. Yeah, I can cast it right now. I mean, it's not really. It's a Ray class ability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's because it's just an innate uh, like it's not even a class ability. It's a race ability. It's like a tiefling ability, right? Or
No,
no,
it's
no, no,
this is
no,
a
no, no, no,
class.
no. It's a
This
class
is a
ability for
yeah.
paladin. Sorry,
Yep.
I haven't had much sleep. Um, it's a class ability for paladin, but it's like an innate sense that he can just do. It's not like a
Yeah,
spell.
I have to focus for a round, but yeah.
Um, well, you know what? You don't. You don't have to focus for a round. You just know the amount of evil and just absolute negative energy radiating off specifically the cage is unpalatable for you as a holy man. Um, it's kind of oppressive for all of you. I mean, Reg and Aepheus are not getting it at the same level that Brundy is because of his paladin sense, but they feel it too. As you come up to this tree, not good.
On my approach, then I would probably like halt part way and like cover my mouth and like look away from the cage. That cage is some form of abomination. Hopefully, Garrethes has nothing to do with it.
Gary. Call him
Gary!
Gary.
Even I feel it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there was some bad stuff. Well, I mean, do you think that? Do you think that's the gate?
It could very well be.
Because I mean, your gates in here are weird. Not
Yes,
like sometimes not like actual openings. Could
as-
that be the gate itself? What we're feeling is the emanating of hell coming through that gate?
The full power of Satan?
The full power of Satan is upon us coming out of that gate.
Right.
The full power of Jefferson Davis.
I think you're exactly right. Here in this strange town, all of these eclectic buildings centered around this tree and this cage that emanates evil, that even I feel it. And clearly, Brunyr feels it.
I wonder if it's not just a gate, but I wonder. I don't understand all these, but they all can't be from the same place. I wonder if it's bringing these places here, like that coral and that weird cube and these other weird buildings. Do you think that it's pulling them in?
I don't know if it's pulling them in or if it's spitting them out.
how close are you going to get to the tree and the cage? Because Brundy started feeling that
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable feeling. Probably it was
Well, I
probably a good you were probably a good 50 feet away from the tree when you
stopped when
started
Grundy
feeling.
stopped.
Okay.
I stopped when Grundy stopped.
So
I
when did
wasn't.
Brundy did he stop immediately when he started feeling bad at about the 50
Yeah,
foot mark?
when I said that, around that 50-foot mark, yeah, I'm still just chilling there until
Okay.
we do something.
I'm going to cast this. Wow, that's a wall of text. Um, and just look around, especially at the tree in the cage. But maybe get the sense of whether this is magical or divine.
Oh boy. You have cast Detect Magic probably at this point hundreds of times in your
This is
career as a
this
magic
is
user.
is it called Detect Magic Info in Castles and Crusades to
Just Detect
differ?
Magic.
It's
Because
detect magic, and this is the info block of that
It's the
spell.
info block.
okay, gotcha.
So you've cast this so many times. Never in your entire magical studies career have you ever seen a place light up like this place has lighted up. Now, remember in Castles and Crusades, it doesn't physically light up, so Reg and Brundy don't see anything. But Aepheus is just getting the sense. Number one, the tree and especially the cage, more than anything else, that cage is radiating like a blinding mat. You almost can't even look at it. It is a blinding magic of just incredible power. But everything here seems to have an aura of magic. Every structure, everything, I mean, even the ground almost. The whole thing, all the way to the picket fences, seems to kind of glow with an aura of magic. And as you as you're looking around and seeing all this, uh, Reg, you almost Aepheus almost doesn't even notice it, but Reg and Brundy hear this kind of clicking, clanking, weird gears like something is approaching you
From in front of us, behind us, to the side.
from behind you.
Look, spin around.
Oh no!
Gross.
So, upon casting detect magic and just the nature of this entire area, Aepheus doubles over as if he just got the worst migraine of his life,
Oh no.
and
Oh man,
everything is glowing around him, and he's really losing his sense of things.
Ooh.
He kind of like starts to collapse, and things get woozy. Uh,
So Aepheus starts to get woozy. Reg and Brundy swing around and they realize that behind them is something that neither of them have ever seen before. There are 5 little, what they look like, they're shaped like large rats. Like rats that are maybe about a foot to 2 foot tall. But they're made of gears and springs and metal. and the 5 of them are starting to kind of spread out and surround you.
It's BattleBots.
And though they are metal and kind of clockwork looking, you realize that their claws are shining razor sharp. And I think that is where we're going to call it for right now.
Woo!
Nice.
All right.
Hey, this is Dungeon Dan, and you're watching Save Hell, only on Dicks in the Dark.
Wasn't there somebody in it?
No, nobody in it. One in there.
Look, it's a gibbet. There's nobody in it.
No. There is not. But before we get started, there is something we need to do. Garrett?
We need to get into the game in the first place. Is what we do.
Oh,
would help.
yeah, that would probably be very helpful if you were in the game.
Are you gonna give a recap before you?
No, go ahead
Before
and
he rolls?
vibe, and then I'll recap.
All right. One vibe coming up.
Please. Oh my goodness, that looks low.
Whoa, that's very
Oh.
low.
I could see
Wow.
before the number populated, the field
was
was
tiny,
very
yeah.
small, and I was like, oh man, that
Wow.
is a single-digit vibe.
That vibe was
Wow.
poor.
Oh my goodness, what does that mean?
4 out of 666. That's.
Oh my
could be good.
goodness. That could be good, that could be really bad. It's
Some
going to
kind of
be
extreme episode.
right.
If it had been 6 out of 666, that would have been really interesting.
Oh yeah, that'd be super weird. All right, well that's that could portend for something wild anyway.
Bound by fate, 3 souls unite in the depths of hell to make you right.